Hermano Telehit, nos encontramos aquí en Filadelfia. Es la salida de una película que tienen ustedes que ver, El fin de los tiempos. En inglés se llama The Happening. Y tenemos la oportunidad de platicar precisamente con el director de esta película, Mr. M. Night Shyamalan. Thank you very much for the time of this interview.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, the first question, when I just saw the movie, at the end I thought that, okay, this is a fictional story, but even that it's a fictional story, nature is giving us like wake-up calls in the last 7 years.
Yes.
Is that really true, right?
Oh, it's definitely true. The research on the movie was so fun, scary, and fun because it's all there. All the evidence that it's reacting, that it's reacting to us, and we're just ignoring it. And you know, it's ignorant of us. It's, you know, it's a classic great storytelling for me because that's what you want your characters to do. You want your majority of your characters to ignore the threat as it's rising, and you're one character going, hey, wait a second, what's going on? You know, shouldn't we be listening to this? Why are there so many storms? Why is this happening? And why is the temperature changing and all that stuff? And everybody's like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. That creates great story tension. So it was on my mind.
And that's the truth. I mean, you don't explain at the beginning of the movie what is happening, but I really think that even here, nobody explains us what happened.
Yes.
You just wake up and it's like, oh, there is an earthquake or there is a tsunami.
Right. And we end up putting our own, as in the movie he says, we end up putting our own explanations on it. Some science book will put an explanation on it. But I love the feeling of leaving the audience not knowing, you know, not knowing, because that's exactly what would happen in this situation.
Yeah.
There's no one's God's not gonna come down and say, this is what happened, by the way.
And at the beginning, you're not going to believe it. You're going to be like, oh, yes, come on, it's not going to happen to me.
Yes, and you keep on giving rational explanations to it. Explanations that a human being was responsible, that, you know, this country was responsible, or that. But it isn't anything like that. It's so much more profound and simple than that.
Cool. Talking about horror, I'm a big horror, terror, suspense movie fan. And for me, my movies that changed my life in that particular case was The Shining, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Wow. In your case, which one are the movies that when you were a kid you watch and you're like, okay, this is what I like?
Well, definitely The Exorcist was profound. In general, I love the filmmaking from that period. That kind of naturalistic, when, you know, I guess, you know, movies, American cinema reacted to the musical in the 60s and then went the opposite way and went completely natural. And that's my favorite. That's my favorite time, you know. If I could get the film stock from back then, I would shoot on that stock, you know. That wasn't as clean, that needed more light, that was more grainy, that it felt more, there was a balance to it, you know. Now everything is so slick and perfect, you know. The humanity's almost gone from it, you know. Inherently now, I mean, I'm going to go off a little bit, but, you know, because of the digital age, the DIs are a little bit more silver, and hardly anyone would notice this, but the natural thing is just a little gray, a little silver, and a little cool. It's lacking the humanity again. So to get humanity, you have to pump it back in, get the warmth back in. I love the 70s look. That was it, man. You know, Scarface and Dog Day Afternoon and all of that. That I would, if I could, I'd just make all my movies look like that.
Cool. Now, talking about the deaths in the movie, how do you come with the idea with so many different deaths?
You know, there was, in the first draft, there was like 20 more. There was everybody was just offering themselves, and my wife read she was the only one who read the first draft. She was like, my God, everybody's killing themselves, and I was like, isn't it cool? Because I kept on thinking. First thing I did was sit down and think of like all the cool ways everybody would do that. You know, unusual ways if you were in a room like this, and then you had the urge to do it. What would I do? You know, and just kind of thinking through the theatricality of that, and in a way, keeping them theatrical kept it away from it being too morbid. You know, too reality based. You wanted it to be theater a little bit. You know, big theater. In fact, in the movie, I intentionally only had really one non-theatrical moment, and even that was pretty theatrical. That was when Julian cut his wrist, but that was, you know, preceded by the big car wreck. So which is very theatrical.
But that's amazing that he just see a piece of glass. And let's do it. And talking about the twist in the end that most of the time you've been showing. For me, you always do the unexpected, and for me, in this movie, a lot of people expect that.
Yeah.
And you didn't do it.
Right.
So for me, it's like the twisted end. I mean, at the end.
Yeah, no, for me, this was always going to be a very clean, open-ended movie. And the only way to change expectations is to change them.
Yeah, of course.
So I have to be able to go, I have to have happening here, and the happening has to take. I felt it was strong enough that it could take that punch from the audience that goes, I wanted a twist ending, and take that punch and hold steady, you know, and stand still and go, yes, but I have a lot to offer you other than that, you know. And it's important for me, for my body of work, to kind of always. I'm a little bit like that, by the way, where I'm a little bit mischievous, where I'll be like, you know, to just you know, play with you a little bit. And just when I'll do 3 movies where I'll be like, oh, let's see, he doesn't do twists anymore. He's just, you know, and then I'll give you the twist. Just to mess with you. Well, now he's doing twists again, and I'll be like, no, I'm not going to do a twist. And just keep that kind of, it's in martial arts. I used to study martial arts. It's called broken rhythm a little bit. You never do like the pattern because they can anticipate. So you do, you know.
It's great that you like martial arts.
Yeah, the broken pattern, and in that way, it keeps you on your toes with your opponent. You always respect that opponent. You're always trying to anticipate, and so to some extent, that's what we're doing here. And so I think the happening was a crucial chess move in that relationship.
Okay, last questions. Just rumors. I just want to know if it's true or not. Avatar?
Yes, definitely. I'm already deep into it. They're building sets downtown here for it's called The Last Airbender, Avatar: Last Airbender, and it's just a movie on a scale that I haven't done yet. You know, it's like Lord of the Rings. It's a giant movie. It's been really fun learning that language and applying this philosophy to another world, basically. Taking this kind of character-based, minimalistic approach in a world where you're doing, you know, huge special effects and everything. How can you bring that approach to ILM and everybody and say, no, you don't pan the camera there, hold on to it. No, we're not going to do that in 7 shots. We're going to do it in 1, and this is how we're going to do it. And doing that in advance, it's been really, really fun.
Cool. Harry Potter at some point?
Yes, well, you know, I had talked with them about doing a bunch of the Harry Potters, but this is going to be my Harry Potter.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to talk with you.